We're level 6 now.
Yeah, after that, I felt like y'all deserved at least one level, if not two. Jeez Louise.
I
That was a
agree.
big old tower.
I mean, let's just make it 3. I mean, let's even
five
it
levels.
out. Yeah,
Honestly.
I mean, 5 levels makes a lot of sense. We at least have
And
5
even
episodes.
Baker's dozen.
Yeah, and it's good.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Welcome, everybody, to this week's Metagame Minute.
Hey.
It's one weekly podcast where you hear our case about why we might level up. Let's go ahead and start with typical horn order, starting with veteran Elven Archer, or Ball in this case. I'm most interested not in the battle that happened, but in this instance, the veteran Elven Archer did get loose, so that was kind of interesting for you to be able to attack. So if you have anything to say
wreck
about
some
that,
people too. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thrilled with you to be able to kind of hit those attacks and do some damage, because it did not feel, when I went down and then Gallendale went down and Crag went down, it did not feel like we were going to win. Those bad guys are pretty strong. Does veteran Elven Archer have anything thoughts about that?
Yeah, definitely getting out of my cuffs. I kind of wanted to harass Caleb a little bit about uncuffing the unknown character and not going to the aid of his friend before.
I thought about it.
Yeah,
I thought about it, but you made an effort. Like, you came towards me too, so I felt like there was some sort of obligation.
I kind of did want to harass you a little bit, but at the same time, I was like, yeah, okay, cool. I killed 2 people in one turn and then murdered another guy. It kind of worked out pretty well for the whole group. So yeah, I was very happy with getting uncuffed. It was fun being like comic relief, jumping around and hiding behind shit. But
yeah, that was funny.
Before we get to Ball, one thing I'm curious is you're the one that was getting into the mindset of veteran Elven Archer. What do you think veteran Elven Archer wanted to do with these captives of ours, these new people that we beat?
Yeah, I don't know the whole story. It seems, I think the idea that they were kind of helping guide them through the wastes is a pretty good idea, and they failed and everybody got pissed at them and locked them up. I think that's probably what happened. He would probably be really unhappy about his friend getting killed, so he would probably want them dead, because his partner of however long, at least since our campaign has been running, was killed by them. So yeah,
and just for fun, before we get to Ball 2, what do you think, if you could impart some words of wisdom, like ideas of how veteran Elven Archer might behave in the future to our DM? What do you think? How do you think that's going to shape up?
I mean, he's got to call people boner more often, because that was like a key thing of his character as I played him.
Yeah, I got that sense.
Definitely more boners.
It's like the one common like insult that he's learned. He's learned that he calls people boners because that's what boners. Common folk call people.
Obviously, he needs to say boner more often. So beyond that, this is Alex's world and this is Alex's character, and I was happy to be in his shoes for at least 2 episodes. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and that does make me think of something I didn't mention in game, and if you guys want to change it, that's fine. There was some magical items on that other elf. Ooh. The Elven Archer kind of took their body and is going to do, make sure that they're brought back home. But if you wanted to push that issue next session, you were free to. But my assumption was that the elf is kind of taking care of this other elf.
I bet he's got some real good stuff though.
Yeah, but I don't want to loot
throwing
like
that
a
into the metagame.
partner. Like, I wouldn't want to loot like a guy.
I mean, they'll survive getting smashed by rock. So
yeah, their friends Ball would definitely not be okay with that. But
okay, so anyway. Real quick though, what is Ball feeling about? You got this bag of holding.
Nice transition right there. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's like I've been doing this for a few episodes. No, but we got back into Ball pretty, our main characters pretty quickly, and Ball got this bag of holding, which I feel like it was something that any of us could have really pushed, but
I've wanted it for so long, man.
Yeah, I think that like you getting it was a victory that like we all could sort of rejoice in just a little bit. At least that's how I felt. But where's Ball at with all this? And obviously, like, you're getting this sweet magic item that kind of eases any, I don't know, I guess like role playing issue that maybe
burdens of carrying stuff.
Right. Yeah, true.
No, that is something that I am just I've had the opportunity to create one, but the idea of creating one and then having it just turn into a regular bag and all the stuff falling out of it just seems so silly to me. Yeah, I want one that's just permanent. And when I heard it was a bag of holding, I just got so excited. I don't know if it came on through the recording or anything, but
it sounded like it to me.
At least visually, it did.
I was so excited when I heard that, and yeah, getting the bag of holding it's gonna make my life so much easier. Like the amount of stuff that Ball has to carry to be an artificer is ridiculous. He's just got to collect and gather and hold like so much stuff, and it's gonna be so nice for him.
No longer. All right, Telbrun, Captain Gordon.
Yeah, there's multiple things I want to talk about real quick.
Oh, go ahead, please.
We had a lot of conversations about murdering and just completely like decimating bodies and corpses, and like that was heavy stuff for Ball.
Yeah. And was there anything else you want to add to that? Because like I kind of feel like we'll talk to that a little bit when we get to my segment, because I was the one obviously pushing that a little bit. But
and the other thing was I was really happy to punch the sheep.
Oh, that was cool, dude. Yeah, a total Conan
sick
the Barbarian
bastard.
moment. I mentioned it before, but one of my favorite movies, Conan the Barbarian, 1982 film. He gets drunk and he punches a horse, or he punches a camel unconscious, and then later on he's fighting, and when he's fighting, a dude charges up on horseback and he just punches the horse unconscious. Such a fucking awesome movie, Conan the Barbarian. Go watch it if you haven't watched it. The soundtrack's amazing. All right, we'll get to the murder stuff later unless Milo has anything to add, but Scory Telbrun, Captain Gordon, you did some work with your greatsword. Thank God. As much shit as I gave you about not doing your stuff at the beginning, you did some serious damage once you started being able to swing. So I don't know what you're thinking about, Gordon, if there's anything that you want to share about the fight. But then what does Scory want to share with the listener about murdering people, about the pounding rock thing?
Why you just turned it,
because
like,
it was
sexual.
all you that was into the, yeah. It's not sexual, get out of here. But anyway, it's kind of open-ended question.
Never
if there's
make
anything
sexual
you feel like,
jokes on the show ever.
no, there's no sexual jokes to be made about punching whores in the, or wait, what was it, whores. Anyway, it was a bad joke. I wish I could take it back. Here we are, metagame minute.
I'm glad we don't make people pay for this anymore.
I'm making
so
you
guilty
pay
about
for
it.
I'm making you pay for it in a completely different way.
Yeah.
No, but it's kind of an open-ended question to you, Caleb. Tell us about a little bit about Captain Gordon, where you were with that fight, or just take us right into Telbrun, because we had some pretty intense role-playing moments, I think, all of us.
Yeah. So Captain Gordon, I actually really enjoyed playing him, and it's the first time that I've actually had success with a character, I feel like.
No, for sure. You and you were heroic too. Like
part of me wants to message Alex privately and be like, "Can we kill off Scory and then bring Gordon back?" And I'll just play Gordon. But it was a blast to actually be able to do something to down one or two of the baddies and have kind of an interesting kind of camaraderie with Sasha was fun. Still having that partner that you can kind of riff off of.
Yeah,
I think important, instead of us just being all solo people that don't know. Yeah. But I really enjoyed also meeting up with veteran Elvin Archer down in the ravine. I'm glad he slid down so I can help him out. I didn't know he was going to give me trouble about not helping my friend out, but
he didn't.
Yeah,
Milo did.
Yeah.
You made the right move.
I apologize.
You made the right move,
Caleb.
But
that was it. Was honestly, those were the two things that I wanted to accomplish next. But the fact that you took initiative and moved towards me, I felt like, okay, let's take care of this. We'll get one more fighter on our side, and then I'll worry about Sasha.
And let's let you off the hook, because Sasha would have said, "If I'm down, you ain't worrying about me." So let's go ahead and let Gordon off the hook a little bit.
Would.
And I feel like
or she would. Yeah.
I feel like Gordon knows Sasha enough to know what she can and can't
together.
handle. Yeah.
Exactly. We've been fighting together for a while, and we've been in that fucking tower for 2 weeks. Like,
yeah. Who knows what happened?
Well, nothing like that, you fucking asshole. But
is there little Gordons in the future?
Oh, Jesus.
Little Gordons and
fucking
Sashas?
Christ. No, get out of here. Okay, you forfeited the rest of your time. No, just kidding. Unless there's anything you want to talk about real quick about Scory so we can move on.
Not really.
I mean, what was Scory feeling about Arthur's really intense pitch to like murder these people?
Part of him is down for it, but I think more and more he is leaning towards the good side of things.
I think you said like there's a part of you that's trying to like leave that behind.
Yeah.
Let's save that for the end because I want to talk about it too.
Okay. And just going back, I wasn't being. I feel like I want to qualify the Gordon Sasha comment.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. Qualify it. Let's move on.
I don't really have a good qualifier. I wanted to be clear that I wasn't intending it to be
that's fine. You're okay.
Condescending or any sort of misogyny or anything. I just
that's fine.
They have a relationship. That's all I'm kind of implying.
They do, yeah. And
we don't know how deep that goes.
That's true. Exactly. Okay. Now, I want to talk a little bit, but if people want to talk about this murder conversation at the end, I'm happy to kind of postpone my time a little bit. Okay. So let's jump then to Bentley, to Gallendale, to Rhyferian. We had a little bit. We're gonna try and save most of the murder talk for the end, but obviously you and I had a little bit of an intense conversation about like executing these people. I will say, like when Riff was like, "These are the fuckers that tricked me," or like, "These are the fuckers that I let go." Like I was all of a sudden like seizing on this, and maybe this is something we could talk about on the end. But if there's anything you want to briefly kind of share about what Riff was doing. Gallendale obviously was pretty badass in the fight. You did get kind of murked there at the end, but we all did, so that's not much of a conversation piece.
That Riff stuff felt like real like character development kind of coming into play,
and like I felt that too, like as Arthur, because I was just like, here it is, like this is a moment of like growth for Riff, like a moment of like exploitation for Arthur, for the little kid, like there's kind of open-ended question. There's nothing specific there, but that was like felt like significant to me.
Yeah. I mean, you haven't asked me a question, so I don't know what you want me to say, but like,
well, and that's what I was trying to say. Like, there's not really there isn't really a question there, because I mean, I guess I don't know. I don't know how I would frame it exactly, except to just like. I guess I'm just interested in trying to get to the heart of Riff a little bit in that, because is Riff feeling like these people actually pulled one over on her, or is she feeling maybe more like she made the wrong decision? It's on her versus on them. If you had to narrow down like where Riff is coming from on all those types of things.
I will say that when she saw who it was and saw what had happened, even though she didn't see Gallendale because he was in the cart or whatever. I mean, she saw the carnage of everything else, and then she recognized who those people were. She said very specifically to Arthur, "They haven't done anything to us, so I don't care." And so
and
now
that was actually
that
like
they
a pretty
have,
intense.
The thing is that like I again like it wasn't. It really bothered her. It really, really bothered her because she came out where she thought, hey, our group just did all this really cool stuff. And we're like, hey, we're going to share with the group. And like, look, and then she comes out to like a murder hobo scene. And then she sees that person and she knows in her head that Arthur is definitely, and probably other people are going to be like, see, we should have. And so she wanted to kind of get in front of it, but also she was super, super, super pissed. And super angry. You've commented in the past that like she, both in character and out of, and then like on this sort of stuff that and I think I've agreed with you and also sort of expounded upon it, is that while she is very skilled and very talented and very good at what she does, she also is a little naive because she's like, well, she doesn't have the people haven't really fucked me over thing yet. I mean, her uncle kind of, and there's been more things, but this is something that like she processed in her head where she also goes, what if they'd just been a little bit longer, they'd killed everyone and they were waiting for us and we weren't ready for it and we would have been screwed. I mean, our heavy hitter was a fucking goat, and I don't think I forgot about that. And like, and I'm glad Mr. Ball knew what to do, because I was like, oh yeah, he's a fucking goat. Like, I'm so glad, like, especially the demonic eyes guy that like fucking killed me and Dash's characters.
Yeah.
So just to clarify, he was a sheep, not a goat. So
I don't care. And but then she would have had you not started talking as Arthur and started like doing a bunch of other stuff, I would have killed him. I would have I just would have straight stabbed him right in the throat with my knife chucks. And then but me as a player, and maybe that transfers to the character, I go, I'm glad I didn't, because then I would have to like walk around with that shit on my head. And then also snide judgment from you fuckers later on, being like, well, I mean, don't leave her alone. She did kill that one
100%.
person.
100%. No snide judgment from Arthur, dude. I was trying to convince you to do it, and that's the thing. Like, I think you
were trying to convince everyone off of a joke that I made. I made a joke about putting them under the bouncing rock, and then you went on like a 5-minute campaign about how we
I thought that was fucking awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
I think Arthur was 100% down for that.
No,
it just seems like such a fucker.
It just seems like, dude, I don't know how we would get them up there though. Like, I was only joking around, but
I was like, of course, a fucking kid would come up with the most savage
the most Looney Tunes fucking
no,
I saw it in a picture book once.
Like, and that's the thing, and I'm glad it kind of came through. And even though you think I was joking, like, no, that was 100% Arthur.
No, I was joking. I knew you weren't joking.
Oh,
I was completely joking. I was just trying to make you laugh.
You did, and I thought it was so fucking perfect for these people.
Yeah,
and we could like satisfy fucking Scory, who just
shut
the fuck up about this.
Like,
actually, go to the rock.
Yeah, we finally go to what's the president's face? We finally go to
Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, we finally go to the Mount Rushmore of this level or whatever.
And
what if
it was important, Caleb? Yeah. You were right. It was important. We should have investigated.
What if at the end of all this, Scory is like, fine, let's just go to the rock just to shut Arthur up. We'll call it good. Done.
And it's some sort of weird sacrifice, and then we like invoke like some sort of demon that takes over the world. I will say, I thought you said something. I wrote a note about Rhett, where you go, Mr. Telbrun, let him have it now. And let him have it now, and then like, as he was punching him in the face, but I to pepper that up, I would have been funny to me if you went, let him have it now, pretend your fist is that bouncing rock you see, and then like, and then I got to give it up to Caleb. I think in the 4.5 years that we've been playing, that's the best consistent rolling I've ever seen you do in one session.
Dude, I know.
I was super, when you have advantage for everything.
I was super stoked for you, because you just fucking, I was like, man, and I wasn't joking. Like, I said it joking, but I wasn't. I was like, what if he like goes through and kills all these people? But then you were like, oh, like you killed that one guy, and then I was like, oh, he'll run over and kill that guy that's on Dash. And then you're like, no, I'm going to cross the ravine now. I was like, well, never mind.
Yeah. It was great. I was excited.
Really good. I'm excited for all the stuff, and Riff gets a really cool feature at level 6, so I'm very excited about that. And
awesome.
And no, it was really, really good RP, really, really good intense stuff. And now it's up to Dash, and then I guess we talk murder hobo stuff.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about the murder. Dash you had Crag, who I actually think is actually quite an interesting character personally. So if there's anything you want to talk about that, please. But I feel like the fight was probably like the least interesting part about this whole thing. You got murked a little bit. We all did. So I don't know.
Yeah. What was that thing, Alex?
Which thing?
The staring in the eyes thing that killed that knocked me and Crag down.
Oh, that guy's terrifying.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to fight him.
Okay, well, I guess. Hey, guys.
Well, at the end, I do my DM stuff. I'll tell you more about him later.
Okay. So then, what's Wolf feeling about this? Because like I was thinking, man, like Wolf is a sheep. Here's my chance to invoke Cord a little bit, and I did. I took my swing. Like, well, if gods are real, then they are gonna let these people have a merciful death. And if we get to smash them under a rock, then that's what the fucking gods want, So I went for my typical exploitative thing, but then you kind of came back. I couldn't do that as easily. I'd already taken my swing, but what's Wolf feeling about that? What's Wolf feeling about the way the fight shaped up, the way that we're handling these captives, people who we know for a straight, cold, hard fact?
He's still campaigning to kill them. Still campaigning.
Oh, 100%. This is metagame minute, bitch. If I can't have all of you on my side by the end of it, then I failed.
Then you failed.
Happening, bro.
Go ahead, Dash. Take us there. Open-ended. There's no real question, just a prompt.
I don't really have a specific feeling about this, really. I didn't like being a sheep. I was kind of hoping Alex would just forget, and he did.
I did, but I wasn't gonna forget.
That's so good. I'm gonna kill Milo's character before this game's over. I'm gonna cut his head off, and that is
it's well deserved. Honestly,
I'm going to kill him.
After that, I
punch my
totally
sheep in the face.
Understand?
You cut his head off, and then you put that on the end of your chain weapon, and full circle.
Yeah.
He's got this
I'll get my head
on the end.
I'll get my head, and it's gonna be balls.
Well, Dash, I mean, if you don't have anything to add, then maybe you could carry us right into this murder hobo conversation, because we call it a murder hobo conversation, but I don't really feel that way. This is what Arthur feels is his duty as like a Lord of Usma. He's trying to take these duties on himself, and even though he's not collecting taxes and have people that live directly under him, he's got this land, he's got these, and he feels like he has these duties because of it. So where does Wolf, a fucking soldier of Usama, land on this? These people murdered people in the desert. We let them get away, no matter whose specific fault. We let them get away, and here they are. They come up and they start trying to murder the people that we rescued out of this tower. And not only that, what do you think they would have done to us while you were a sheep if we had come out and they got everybody? What do you think they would have done with all of the goods that we had brought out of here, the things that we were charged by the Kingdom of Usama to bring out? So here's the
here he is still selling. Here he is.
Yeah. Let him answer one of the 18 minutes. Yeah, let him answer one of the 18 questions you've asked.
Yeah, 100. Look. So that's what it is, Dash. You're a soldier of Usama.
Oh God!
You were charged by the Kingdom of Usama.
You already knows. You already said it.
Let's hear it.
I don't even know what you're asking.
What I'm asking is,
do you want to murder the bad guys or not murder the bad guys?
Thank you.
There you go. Look, I came out. They weren't in conflict. The conflict had been resolved. They're incapacitated, tied up. And, Wolf offered obviously the punishment out here, we're kind of in the wilderness. If we were in, civilization, I'd say we should take them to the guards immediately. But, I'd also be fine with executing them right here. And in fact, if we don't want other people coming to this tower, leaving their bodies to decay out front would be a pretty good deterrent.
Yeah.
And that's just thinking like a soldier. But ultimately, it seemed like the general consensus was these guys can take them to someone to, dole out, the proper kind of justice instead of this wild justice. So he figured, all right, well, if that's kind of what everyone's feeling, we should probably go that route.
But
he's Wolf is amenable. I mean, he's a soldier and he's, a bloodthirsty barbarian who will, hack you and your family up if that's what it calls.
You can be both.
I mean, I just wonder, like,
you can be both. Yeah, I'm not just one thing.
I'm not saying that Wolf is loyal only to himself, because we've seen that that's not the case. But I guess I wondered if there was a bit of overprotectiveness, a bit of loyalty for your fellow soldiers of Usama, because we got Captain Gordon, we got Sasha here, who fought for the same cause that you did, likely battling against the mages on the same lines that you did, and here these fools are rolling up and knocking them unconscious.
It really feels like you're selling again. It feels like you're selling. You want us to murder these guys.
When you guys are in charge of Metagame Minute, you can try to steer the course of the game however you want.
Okay. Let me give you a Ball's perspective. Ball is a lawful good character. He is not going to murder people that are chained up, tied up in the back of a cart when there's.
But who is the law?
Take them to prison and have them rightfully charged for their crimes. That is the bottom line for Ball. 100%. There is no way you could ever convince him otherwise.
Because I'm not saying that the law is subjective, but like here you have somebody trying to carry out the letter of the law. You know what I mean? Like you have somebody who feels a responsibility to the law and the stability of the Kingdom of Usama. And like he feels like you're undermining it just a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of understand that with Arthur's like background in like being a lord or whatever. And yeah, that kind of makes sense for your character. I understand why you would sell your character so hard in this instance.
Look, and it feels weird because like in real life, dude, I'm all about like police abolition and all this sort of shit. So like this feels super backwards, but this is something that we touched on before with Arthur. And so like when these people came out and like Riff had that connection with it, like Arthur felt super compelled to like actually really make a super hard pitch for it. And so like and I'm not trying to make the pitch anymore because the decision's already been made. We're going to carry that out. I'm just trying to like challenge you to like defend your position, because like I feel as though like my position was the default, like this is the right thing, this is the good thing to go for. So going on the murder hobo thing, like I don't know, like anybody else want to chime in? We don't have to go in order. Like I feel like this was the most compelling part of the whole thing, and I think me and Riff had like some pretty intense connection. I really felt that moment, like when Riff and Arthur, literally I'm going through like Riff's a little kid, like she's feeling like a fool, like I'm gonna try and get her, like break this fool's leg, slash this dude's neck,
manipulate her into killing and murdering people,
because Arthur is not ever going to
fuck. Arthur is such a bad person.
He doesn't get his hands dirty ever.
He's not like
I've got a question then for Arthur.
Okay, let's hear it.
Because as a DM, I was trying to kind of hedge that conversation. When Captain Gordon said, as a soldier of Usama, these are the two things that we would do as the law, which was kill them now, as is your right, they attacked you, or take them somewhere to be, shown in front of a judge. How did Arthur take that?
Well, and I think I tried to speak up a little bit on that, where you're talking about like, well, this is the law of Usama, and I think like my knee-jerk reaction was to try and make an impassioned plea to Gordon, where it was like, well, who is the law of Usama? Like, who pays your salary? Who does this? Like, I'm a landed lord of Usama.
Yeah, and that seemed like it went on a whole new, different tangent. And
it might have. But the fact is that I feel like when Gordon was saying that, like, I think it really showed Arthur, like, here's a person that's beneath him. Like, this is a salary worker. Like, this person's, like, beneath me in a way.
He's asking for permission to,
like,
for you to do what you need to do as a leader.
Right. And he's saying, like, these are the things that we would do. Okay, then fucking kill him. Like, stop wasting time and do it. Because, like, I never want to see this person again, because we let him go once, and that was once too many. Now, this is Arthur, not only like the Lord, but this is Arthur, the person who was, like, having to do shady shit for Eben and all this sort of stuff.
That's where this stuff would create so much conflict between our characters, like in character. But I love this kind of shit. Like, I would love to fight with you in Metagame Minute over this shit, because my character would be the opposite, 100%. But I just fucking love it.
Good,
Arthur. Rhett, you've talked about it time and time again how none of us really know kind of the dirty stuff that Arthur was into before, like kind of dirty business and who knows what. And I feel like this is maybe the first kind of surfacing that's kind of explicit to everybody. A little
and that's part of what really made me feel like I needed to grab onto it a little bit, because Arthur has been pretty passive, like, well, what is going to get me, like more money and now you're
comfortable with us.
Right. And that's the truth. And I've tried to exploit Wolf a little bit. And I took my shot at Wolf last season and it backfired. If you remember when I tried to talk about Cord and all this shit, and it backfired, and he kind of came after me about it a little bit. But the truth of the matter is, he had to do shady shit. And if you guys remember last season, Eben was like, yeah, fucking cut off this person's hands and then come back to me and talk. So y'all think that Arthur ain't going to go cut off somebody's hands?
Yeah.
Because he's in the bondage of this person. He was going to go cut off this motherfucker's hands before he died. And then, thank God, Adrian came along, and now he has to do other shit. And the thing is,
I just love this RP. This RP is so much fun for me.
Arthur
as a
always...
player, it's so frustrating, and I kind of just want to strangle you.
Right.
But, just as an outsider perspective, looking at the situation, it's so much fun.
Well, and that's why I was like, let's take the vote and I'll honor it no matter what, because I feel like we could have probably just went back and forth nonstop and never have agreed on anything. Because the thing is that Arthur has been feeling the call for responsibility for a long time. He comes from a rich family. He's never really had to have responsibility except towards the people that tell him what to do, like Eben, for example. And so here he is, he has these responsibilities. Nobody's telling him what to do. So why the fuck wouldn't he? How has it been carried out before? He's seen the heavy hand of the law. He's seen this is how it's going to be. This is how you keep order. He gave these people a shot and they blew it. So I took my shot in RPM. I'm going on it for on and on for Metagame Minute. So, but if there's anything that anybody else wants to add about the Murder Hobo Niz, because I feel like I kind of had my interaction with everybody except for Wolf. I even had my interaction with Alex a little bit about it. He's and I felt like I really want, if the other party with the prisoners was going to separate from us, but it sounds like we're all kind of headed in the same direction. I was going to be like, these motherfuckers try to run. You fucking do what you need to do, and you leave them out to rot in the sun, because they ain't fucking worth the time. But we didn't get that shot. So, sounds like we're all going to be traveling together. So I don't know. Maybe I'll be able to tell somebody to murder them for me later on. Is there anything anybody else wants to add about that? Murder Hobo? Okay. Alex, what about you, though? You had some things. This has been a long Metagame Minute, but I can't let it go because, Jesus, this is
yeah, you wanted to do some murders. It's sometimes that's what you do in D&D.
State-sanctioned murder. Out. And history is written by the victors.
And as a DM, I was trying to do the same. If you notice, that last shorter skeleton character did one thing really good, and that was go up to people and murder them. The problem was they got stuck in that black tentacle for about 2 rounds, and this
thank God for that
2-part session was flipped on its head. I was expecting to kind of kill each of the characters and have this mercenary group a little what would you say, just hobbled a bit, just kind of not at their 100 full tilt, and you saw kind of the reins come down, make sure everyone's stabilized so no one's gonna die, but with that that little skeleton guy getting stuck there, was only able to kill kind of 2 people right away, and then had to kind of come around, and then eventually got taken out themselves. So it's, I always set these things up with something I'm trying to do, but it is always the roll of the dice and your guys' decisions on what happens.
Cool. Well, I had a blast with this. I was excited to roll these from the last time, and when I remembered that we were jumping into this, I was super excited for it. So, Alex, we thank you for putting this together, and I thank you guys for bearing with me for this like really minor thing that was like a pretty heavy moment for my character and maybe for others because. Like, felt like a big deal, but thanks for letting me even talk about it some more in Metagame Minute. But I think unless anybody else has anything to add, that's this week's Metagame Minute. You get a little bit of a longer one. We're going to be back Monday with your regular installment of